Back in February of 2022, Zach Johnson announced as the captain for the United States and the Ryder Cup team. With the announcement, Zach became the 30th U.S. captain in Ryder Cup history. There he is with his counterpart, Luke Donald, who will represent Team Europe. A native of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Johnson made his Ryder Cup debut back in 2006, played in 5 total Ryder Cups so far, has served as a U.S. vice captain in the last couple Ryder Cups as well, and great to have Zach with us from Frisco. I tell you, Zach, you talked about the difficulty of this decision. I imagine the Keegan Bradley phone call must have been especially tough. He was a Ryder Cup teammate of yours, played for Davis Love III. Why did he fall just short?
Well, yeah, that all those phone calls were really difficult, Damon. I don't know. It's one of those situations where it's not like those guys that I made those phone calls to that were the hard ones weren't worthy. It's not like they weren't capable. It's not like they weren't deserving. I mean, I want to take 30 guys if I'm going to be fully honest, but I can only take 12. And so, my responsibility was trying to pick 6 guys that gave us the best tandems that put us in a position to add versatility. 6 guys that are fierce competitors, 6 guys that want to be around each other in the team room and on the golf course. And it's really that simple. I mean, we looked at everything. I think we left no stone unturned. So it's not to slight the individuals that are not on the team, because it's just merely the fact that I feel that the 6 that I picked are the ones that can help us go do it with the other 6 that earn their way. So that's how I try to make our 6 earn bursts whole. And this was the best way I saw fit.
Zach, when you said you wanted to pick guys who want to be around each other, obviously there are a lot of criteria that you're weighing here: statistical analysis, suitability for the course, all of that. It sounds as though camaraderie was by far the biggest metric that you were applying here to these picks. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I don't think I can specifically say one piece of the pie was bigger or a higher percentage than the others. It's one of the elements, no question. I can't, Eamon, I can't suggest that, whether it was the fit for the golf course, camaraderie, experience, and then what the top 6 guys wanted. All of those were factors. To say that one of those factors overweighed or overshadowed the others would be inaccurate.
Well, what you do have here is a group of 12 guys who do actually all get along together, all do want to hang out together. You're probably going to face criticism that it is a very friendly club. Perhaps that's by design. Clearly, the results over the last couple of team competitions would suggest that kind of cohesion works as a positive. But is it a fair question that it seems like the players have more say in the makeup of the team than the captain, or is that actually what you're trying to encourage?
I don't think it's fair to say that they have more. I think what we've witnessed and seen in my time, and I think it's a very fortunate thing, is that Team USA has kind of taken a turn when it comes to the ownership side by the players. And it kind of started back in 2015, really, when it came to the task force and how that was constructed, some of the things they laid out. I think we've got great systems now in place, and that system has been handed down to me. I think it's a system that I certainly have the honor of receiving, and it's also one that is something that I have to take very seriously. So it's not rigid enough that it can't take on my personality, which is great. And obviously the key decisions are going to go on my shoulders. But it's one that is efficient and effective. It does not mean it's going to result in wins. And the first part of your question there, why wouldn't the players have some say in what we're trying to formulate? I mean, especially the ones that earn their way, especially ones that, frankly, have earned their way to the point where, this is their team. And so, again, I'm not suggesting it's the only factor. By no means is it. But, what helps is when you have a team room, when you have 18 guys collectively, if you include my vice captains, where there's synergy, where there's camaraderie, where there's chemistry, and I don't have to be concerned about any sort of drama amongst those core guys. That to me ends up being a quality team, and we can live with the results once we get over there because we know we got each other's back.
Zach, to that point, did we overrate the importance of the playoffs? Us at Golf Channel, we watched every shot struck from Memphis to Atlanta as if every player had a heat index on his back as to whether he was up or whether he was down. Have you had this team pretty much set at Wyndham, perhaps at an earlier point in the season?
No, I have not, and that's being completely honest. I mean, I would say the last 3 or 4 weeks in particular has been a lot of discussions, numerous discussions, specifically with my vice captain, specifically with all the entities involved. And then once Scotty and Wyndham earned their way, I was starting to converse with them a lot because they were the first two to actually grab hold of a spot. But no, those tournaments are important. Clearly, good form is a part of that. I think you've also got to make mention that you've got essentially 4 weeks, a full month between the last Tour Championship and the actual tournament. So, oftentimes we roll right into the Tour Championship into the tournament. So you're trying to configure, a month window there where, how does that look? What impact may that have on the team makeup and so forth? So, there's numerous factors, but yeah, I did not have this team solidified until I say that once we received our analytics report, once we started talking to these guys, conversing with them day after day, week after week, breaking bread with them, having meetings, all of that took place in the last, specifically last 2-3 weeks, but even the last month and a half.
We watched Brooks Koepka perform under the bright lights of the PGA Championship. That he's a pick, not a surprise to many. How about Dustin Johnson? How much consideration did he get? Another live golfer who was 5-0-0 2 years ago at Whistling Straits, who's considered everybody's big brother, for example.
Yeah. I mean, I love DJ. He's a dear friend, obviously a stud when it comes to playing in competitions through and through. His record speaks for itself. It was one of those situations where it's hard to gather form. It's hard to see how guys are doing when they're not competing against these guys that earn their way in the team in particular. The way I see it, all the guys that do not play in the PGA Tour had an opportunity to earn their way or at least be in the realm of complete discussion. And Brooks Koepka put himself in that position with his play.
Zach, you mentioned in your remarks earlier that the Marco Simone golf course is a European Tour venue, has the Italian Open. Their team is intimately familiar with the golf course, as they invariably are on these road trips. Your team doesn't have that luxury. What's your reconnaissance plan for the team between now and the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, to kind of go in that vein, they've only had 3 championships there, Italian Opens, and I know there's probably going to be some guys on that team that have played there maybe once or twice, 2 or 3 times, but it's not like it's been a staple for decades on the European Tour schedule, DP Tour schedule. But I think there's still one of my goals from the very beginning of my captaincy, especially knowing that I had a month between the Tour Championship and the actual Cup, was to see if we could get our 12 guys together and get over there and get our feet on the grounds. And the more we can do that, the better. So the PGA of America, obviously my partner in this, and the entity that has gifted me this luxury, is they're allowing us to go over there and not too distant time from now, about a week and a half. And so we'll get over there, we'll get our feet on the grounds, we'll hang, we'll bond, we'll be together as a team. And that's my reconnaissance, as you put it. That's how I'm going to navigate this. And I think what it does is it really helps the actual week of the tournament. If anything pops up, whether there's so many other factors that, can kind of weigh in on that Monday through Thursday prep. We will already have seen the golf course.
Zach, we know how much you and Kim are putting your heart and soul into this. Thanks so much for the time. Best of luck next month. We'll speak to you down the road.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys.